Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And if you give someone enough rope, they will eventually hang themselves. And that's what's happening in the Amber Johnny trial, with the revelations from the stand now that certain party has given evidence for herself that what she's admitting to is in direct contradiction with what she said under oath in the High Court in London. This opens her up for extradition back to the UK to stand trial for perjury, and that carries a sentence of up to 7 years. So never mind the monetary aspect that's going to happen in America, she could be looking at hard time in a woman's prison in the United Kingdom. Be a shame to see it, wouldn't it? And it would be the end of her career, which has already kind of ended. But let's have a look at what this Aquaman starlet has said and done, and why she's got herself into such a dark hole, and she may not be able to get herself out of it. There's an article here in the Mail Online. I shall put myself down into my usual corner and we'll take a look. So here's the article. As you see, it's from the Mail Online, and she could face a police perjury probe, legal experts are saying, after Starr admitted not giving $3.5 million from the divorce settlement to charity, despite telling the High Court she had. So she was sitting there and she lied to the judge, to the prosecutor, well, to everybody. Just lied to everybody and said she had given it, when in fact she more kind of hadn't. That's a lie. And when you do that under oath, that's perjury. And that's a serious crime. She said she would split the $7 million divorce settlement between two charities. She told the libel case on Monday that she is yet to make the full donation. That is despite previously claiming, including at the High Court in London, she had. Legal experts say she could face a perjury probe over evidence at the High Court, and she says she's been unable to donate after the $50 million lawsuit in 2019. But his lawyers have argued that she's had the money for months before the lawsuit and decided at that point not to, because it's money and she doesn't want to spend it. So she could face a police probe for this, and if they decide there's enough evidence, they will just go to a court, hand it over to the prosecutor. He'll apply for an extradition order, and given that we have very good relationships with America, it's likely to be given. She's not popular, but she could end up coming over to Britain to stand trial, and if she's found guilty, she will get up to 7 years. She'll do half of it, so the most she's looking at in terms of jail time is 3.5 years, assuming she keeps her nose clean. But even so, 3.5 years for her would be hard. The rest of us enjoy it because she deserves it, and I bet she doesn't foul anyone else's bed when she's sitting in a prison. But anyway, we'll get onto it. After the couple divorced in 2016, she said she would split the £5.5 million for $7 million settlement between the Children's Hospital in LA and the American Civil Liberties Union. But giving evidence in their libel trial on Monday, she said she had yet to make the full donation because Johnny sued me for $50 million in March of 2019. It came despite the actress having claimed on several occasions, including under oath at the UK High Court libel case, that she had. Lawyer for his side, Camille Vasquez, also argued yesterday that she had the money for months before the lawsuit, yet failed to donate the money as she promised because she's greedy and a liar. The disclosure has led to accusations that she misled the public when talking about the donations on talk shows and may have lied under oath. And as I say, this is getting more and more serious, and the fact is that this revelation will sway the jury, because they will now see that no matter what else she is, she's now a provable liar. Because she told the High Court she had done something and is now saying under oath again that she hasn't. So she was either lying then or she's lying now. But either way, she is a liar. And now that she's an admitted liar, an approvable liar, all her evidence is tainted, and she's just going to lose this case. And I do hope so. You never know with juries. You can't call it, but you know, you do hope so. Sean Caulfield, partner at law firm Hodge, Jones and Allen, told the Mail Online today that Heard could face a perjury probe in the UK as misleading a court cuts to the core of the justice system. Asked if he could see police investigating the claims, he added, "Yes, I think so. While it may not be a central issue to the case, perjury is the single biggest threat and cuts to the core of our justice system, so the police may be invited to investigate to show that any member of the public who lies to the court can be prosecuted for perjury." And the main point of prosecuting for perjury is to show society in general, other people, that if you lie under oath, there are consequences. Now, there is an old adage that he who lies under oath wins. But that's where it's lies that nobody can ever prove, or that you never admit to. You know, it wasn't me, you know, the shaggy defence. And strangely enough, that actually is in law a defence, the shaggy defence. I didn't do it. And if there's no one to counteract that, then you're lying under oath if you did do it. But no one can gainsay it, and so you get away with it. But you know, it's stupid to sit in one court and say A, and to sit in the other court and say B, both of these times under oath, and where A and B are the direct opposites of each other. It makes you an idiot, if nothing else. And most people in jails are idiots. And this is a truism. Jails are filled with stupid people, because you never catch the clever ones. And she's a stupid people. If ever I saw a stupid people, it's that one. But she's also evil, manipulative. She's got massive personality disorders. She's narcissistic. She cannot believe that anyone would be in anything other than awe of her at all times. I mean, she must huff her own farts, honestly. There's the man of the moment. He must be laughing his undercrackers off. If she's admitted that, and it's now a provable fact, all his defence have to do is bring this up to show and prove that she's a liar, and it's done. So anyway, here's the thing that we're looking at. She's claimed several times, including under oath in the 2020 libel case with him in the UK, that she donated the entirety of the settlement to charity. And here's the trial note. As for what he says about my so-called agenda in marrying him for financial benefit or to somehow further my career, that is preposterous. I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together, and the entire amount of my divorce settlement was donated to charity. And she's written it there, was, past tense, done and dusted. So she has, in that statement, said that she has done this. And now she's saying she hasn't. So we've got evidence that she has lied under oath, and that's perjury, and we need to get her back, get her up in front of the beak, and give her 7 years. And I think everyone would be happy with that. Nearly everyone. I can see one person who won't be. But if she's going to lie. Caulfield said perjury is difficult to prove. Not when you've got evidence and receipts. Adding it is not a central issue before the court. But if his legal team are trying to paint a picture that she is trying to keep the money, then it is. And it is always central that people do not perjure themselves. The CPS guidance says you will need to know what you said was false, which can be hard. But it should not be that difficult to know whether she had made the donations or not. I can't see a problem there. No, they just have to go to the book, say, has she made donations? No. Done. Done. The other confusion, he went on, is that she would need to be extradited. If the CPS authorises a charge, you then have to extradite her, which is unlikely, especially as she is a US resident. It's not unlikely. The US will expedite, and has on many occasions expedited. to the UK and is frequently asking for extradition to the US from the UK, and we kind of have an arrangement. But something like this, which undermines the judicial system, the courts in America will look upon that as seriously as the UK courts, because they too do not want perjury to go unpunished. So I'm not an expert on this, but I understand how the optics would be. So I think it's very, very likely that they would entertain an extradition for perjury. Another legal expert, Mark Stevens, also said police could decide to probe the claims, as he described how Heard's legal team are being severely outgunned by the smooth, swift operation run by his lawyers. He added, "It's notoriously difficult to bring and prosecute a perjury case. You have to show that someone deliberately told untruth, as opposed to them being confused or misremembering. But this is not. This was a written deposition signed by her, but written by her lawyers. So there's no confusion. This was gone over minutely and expertly." You will have a hard time proving that was confusing or mistaken. Police could investigate it, he said, but they probably won't prosecute it, which is a shame. Their case is not about what she spent her money on, but what took place just during their relationship. This is the American police, I expect. I accept misleading a court is a big issue, but this is a line that his team ran in London. How do you prove that she knew? She may have been given advice that the donations were made. Well, no, that she wrote it down, and it was a legal, binding declaration that, as I say, she signed it, and it was gone over by her legal team. Look at the face. That's a face of an actress trying to look sad, but she's actually quite evil. Access to bank accounts, if you're a celebrity, may be managed. You may well believe that you've made or committed the donations. Yeah, but there's no writing it down and having it checked over by solicitors. Because if that's the case, then the solicitors aren't worth a bean, are they? If they've signed off on a blatant untruth as well, they could be disbarred. So I don't think the solicitors would have signed off on that unless they'd checked that out. He continued that his legal team, JD's, are just a different class. They know the evidence is there, and they're not getting names wrong. They're not misplacing things. It is a smooth, swift operation. Heard's lawyers looked like they're being outgunned. She appeared on Dutch talk show RTL Late Night in 2018, where she said 7 million in total was donated. So she lied again. I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. I wanted nothing. She just can't help herself. Lies all the time. But Terence Doherty of the ACLU, Chief Operating Officer and General Counsel, testified earlier in the case and said that so far only $1.3 million has been donated, but not all by Heard, some of it on her behalf. And indeed, some of it is rumoured to have come from Musk. Here we go. She contributed $350,000 directly and has not paid any money since, but $100,000 was paid by JD, and another $350,000 came from a fund at Fidelity, which is believed to have been put up by, as I say, Elon. It comes after JD's lawyers accused her of giving away a fraction of the huge sum as part of a calculated and manipulative lie to make herself look better during their legal battle in the UK last year. She insisted that she fully intends to honour the pledges and would love for him to stop suing me so I can. Yeah, too right she'd love him to stop suing, because if she loses this and he goes full, she is bankrupt, and literally out on the streets bankrupt. She'll never work again. I mean, to be honest, I'll look at her. If she sat on a street corner, I wouldn't pay for her. She's ugly on the inside. She's a bitter, ugly woman. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a good-looking woman, but she's ugly on the inside. She's empty. She's soulless. She's greedy. She's horrible. That's my opinion, allegedly. Stephen Heffer, head of privacy at law firm Collier Bristow, said, "Perjury is a very serious offence under English law as it strikes at the heart of the justice system. Well-known individuals, including prominent politicians, have found this to their cost and ended up serving prison time. Under English law, perjury is committed to a judicial proceeding when a witness makes a statement material to that proceeding which he knows to be false or does not believe to be true, and it carries a prison sentence of up to 7 years. If one of the witnesses had been proved to have lied in the course of the English libel case, they could expect a prosecution for perverting the course of justice and perjury and a likely custodial sentence." Ms. Vasquez also alleged on Monday that she had purposely not donated the money to charity so that she could keep as much as possible for herself, a claim vehemently denied by Her. Her lawyer, Elaine Bredoft, or Bredoft, I don't know how to pronounce that, asked the Star why she accepted a $7 million settlement from JD at the hearing on Monday. Oh, look, and there's the false tears. Pass me an onion, you know. She said, "I didn't care about the money. I was told if I didn't agree to a number, it could be overturned, and we would never settle. I took far less than what they were offering, and that what I was entitled to." She said she'd donated the money to charity because she was never interested in JD's money. Well, if that was the case, why didn't you just donate it to charity instead of not donating it to charity? "I just wanted my safety and my future, and he compromised that. I wanted him to leave me alone." "Oh, I'm sorry, are your feet broken? You can't walk away?" "Well, not until you've dumped in his bed." The accusations come as Heard is already undergoing a probe for perjury in an FBI-backed probe into claims she lied to Australian officials after smuggling her dogs into the country in 2015. So she's under investigation for perjury in Australia. She's under investigation now possibly for perjury in the UK. She's now a proven liar, and I think her course is run. And I do hope that she gets prosecuted in Australia for that crime, because you can go to jail for, I think it's 2 years. You can do 2 years in Australia for that crime, be released, get extradited to Britain, do another, say, 3.5, 4 years in Britain, and then released for that, and then go back and then try and resurrect her career. Oh no, that won't be happening. Her career is over. And not a minute too soon, to be honest. Horrible woman. And the worst thing of it is she's destroyed another human being out of it. Because she failed to have the one thing that she requires: constant, unerring praise and attention. She's mentally ill. Anyway, I shall round it off there and come up. So whether the extradition goes ahead, whether the case goes ahead, whether she ever gets prosecuted, whether any of this happens, is unknown. I think it should. I'd love to see it. I think the Australians should have first crack at her because she lied when she took the dogs down there, and that's a jailable offence. They're very, very strict to Australia about what comes in and out. I had an incident trying to get out of Australia once. We just got married, and the passport was in a slightly different name to the tickets. Well, actually, a completely different name to the tickets. We'd bought the tickets in the pre-marriage name, but the passport had been changed to the married name. But we brought the wedding certificate with us. But the upshot was that we got into Australia fine, but getting out of Australia, we were pulled out of the line, and we were sort of questioned about why the names on the ticket and the passport were different. I suggested jokingly that there's no worry, and we'll just stay on Australia and start a new life. They pushed us through that queue, and we were banging on the plane and out of Australia in about 2 minutes. But the Aussies don't muck about. They take their borders very, very seriously. And when you try smuggling animals in, it's a very serious offence. And she lied to the Australians. This is proven. She lied. They're now investigating her for perjury. And of course now we've got this perjury incident at the High Court in London. So she has not only like a small history of lying, she's got a massive history of lying to the authorities, which means basically and ultimately cannot believe a word she says in this trial. And I don't anyway. I don't think anyone does. I think the court of public opinion has got her down. The only thing that's going to save her is that the jury is not the court of public opinion, and you can never second guess a jury. But if anyone on the jury has got any kind of sense, they'd see through this. They'd see through this tissue of lies. And of course, his prosecution, his lawyers, they're not going to muck about. They're going to use this all the way. This is going to be like an open wound. They're going to pick at it continually. Anyway, the trial continues. Alas, this video does not. I will draw it to a close here. If you like what you see and hear on the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, dear friends, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.